Professional dog trainer that lives in beautiful San Diego, California. And I would like to use the experience that I have working with animals basically my whole life to share some of the things that I've learned with you and see if I can help some people free of charge and hopefully make the world a better place. So, when you get a new dog or you bring a puppy into your home, it is a given that they are going to love you unconditionally. Dogs are only capable of unconditional love. It is freely given, and again, it will happen every time. You bring a dog home, you feed them, you pet them, you give them some toys. They are going to love you, and they're only capable of unconditional love. But it has become my opinion over the years that there are two kinds of unconditional love. The first type is freely given. Again, you can bring any puppy, any dog to your home, let them go, love them, feed them, give them some belongings, and they will love you unconditionally. But the one that's freely given, the one you don't have to work for, is the embarrass you in public, bite your visitors, poop on your carpet, unconditional love. It does not mean at the end of the day that they don't love you unconditionally because they're only capable of that. What it does mean is that they may not have a lot of respect for you and your belongings. The second kind of unconditional love, and the one that is super rewarding, is the one that's mixed with just a little bit of respect. It is not like the first type, freely given. It is something that you have to demand, ask for, and earn. Not just demand, but earn. It is very important that you understand that. You must be, as a pack leader, fair, loving, encouraging, as well as in charge. So, the second type of unconditional love that's mixed with just a little bit of respect is, I guarantee you, more the relationship that you're looking for with your new animal. Many times, huge behavior problems in dogs are caused by simply the dog has made the mistake of thinking that they're in charge, that they run the show, and that they need to protect you and your home. Again, they mistakenly believe this, but it is due to the messages that we're accidentally sending them. So, all over America, people are rescuing dogs and they bring them home and they are uncomfortable for usually the first month. They may not seem uncomfortable, or sometimes it's very obvious that they're uncomfortable, but basically they are a little bit shy and they are on their best behavior for that first month. After that, you may start to see some of the reasons why this dog could not keep a home, or some of the ways that they use to manipulate you or get their way, or some of the problem behaviors that exist. So, when a dog first comes home with you, whether they seem uncomfortable or not, say you have a family of 5, they will usually pick one of the children to first make friends with. That is the least threatening choice and the biggest pushover. So they will pick the biggest sucker, usually, and they will walk up to them and they will inevitably give them some sort of a command. Whether it is a paw, a big 20-pound paw, or a tiny little paw on you, letting you know that they want you to love them, or they nudge you with their head. They are adorable mimes. They do not speak English and they never will. So they are constantly giving us commands, whether it is a command to pet them, pay attention to them, throw a toy, or take them outside, go for a walk, or maybe it's time to eat. But let's face it, if dogs could talk, it would be all about hurry up, and are we going anywhere, and hurry up, and throw the ball, throw it again, and I'm hungry. There would be a lot of I'm hungry, and I want some treats, and I want to go out for a walk. I mean, they would really be quite demanding on a constant basis. So I urge you to consider them adorable mimes. They are finding ways to tell us what to do on a constant basis, day to day. And if we are accidentally obeying their commands, then we are sending a message that they are in charge. So if they can walk around the house and get each and every member of your family to feed them, walk them, let them outside, pet them, play toys with them, then they are in charge. There is no doubt about it. And if you consider being in charge a job, these are pack animals. So if they're in charge of the pack, then it's a full-time job, and there's a full list of duties that are included. One of them is protecting you. One of them is making sure your home is fine. I mean, they're going to be patrolling the perimeter and barking at stuff. And they get crazier and crazier when they make the mistake of thinking that they are in charge of your home, your family, and in your relationship. So if you have a dog that has serious separation anxiety, I would assume it's right there on the top of the list, the description of duties, that if they're in charge, if they're running your pack, that at the very least, they should at least know where you all are. If they don't know where anybody in their pack is, they're not doing a good job. And not doing a good job is a life or death situation. So in the wild, you have your pack leaders, and when someone challenges them, it's a fight to the death. Well, it's possible that the dog that was in charge will be allowed to live out their days as a member of the pack if they submit. If they don't, it's a life or death situation. So I need for you to consider that if your dog thinks they're in charge and they're not doing a good job of it in their mind, then it causes stress and anxiety and fear aggression. So it's very important that when your dog is giving you commands on a daily basis, that you not be obeying their every command. So I'm gonna give you an example. I know that there's many dogs out there that they want to play fetch, or they want to play with the toy, and they will literally come up and they will throw the toy at you, throw the toy at you. And if you try to not play toys, they will stare at you for a minute, and then they will generally pick the toy up, throw it at you again. So they can be persistent and they can be demanding, and they will tell you over and over again that they want you to do something. So it's very similar to when you ask your dog to sit and they look at you like they don't speak that language and they choose not to do it. We as human beings will generally say it again. We might say it again in a deeper voice. We might get ticked off before the dog finally decides to sit. But these are commands. So we get persistent as well, and we get demanding with it as well. So I'm encouraging you to see that when your dog is asking you to pet them or play with them, that they are literally telling you what to do. And it's not your fault. All over America, dogs are coming up to people and they give them the paw, and the people go, "Oh my God, the puppy loves me so much." So they give you a command to pet them, and all over America, human beings are going, "Okay, okay, okay." And this accidentally sends the dog the message that they are in charge. Unfortunately, the job list of descriptions is a bunch of stuff that you don't generally want. They're problems that grow and turn into real monsters that then you don't know how to deal with it. So how do you turn it around so that you can send your dog the message that you are in charge? Well, that same way that they come up, they give you a command. I don't care whether the command is pet me, love me, play toys with me, take me outside, it's time to eat, I want a treat. The command, they go on and on. I don't care exactly what the dog wants you to do. I want you to pause just for a moment and ask yourself, who is responding to who right now? So if it is you responding to your dog, then your dog thinks they're in charge. And it's got nothing to do with how dominant you are. You are doing that quite accidentally. So I'm going to ask you to mix it up. When they come up and they give you a command of any sort, why don't you take a moment and ask them to sit or to lay down or to shake hands or whatever you are working on at the moment that is slightly challenging. So basically, when they are telling you to do something, I want you to ask them, I don't know, are you willing to cooperate with me this much? Can I get a sit? Can you sit? Can you lay down? Can you shake? Because if you can cooperate with me this much, I would love to spoil you, and I will give you more of whatever you want than you wanted. But I am not going to be obeying your commands. So I'd like for you to change the scenario so that it is always your dog responding to you instead of you responding to your dog. Be careful that you're not just spoiling your dog because they're adorable or because they're cute. Let's spoil them for doing their job. And let's make sure that they don't accidentally make up their own job with their own list of job descriptions. So instead of patrolling the perimeter and barking at every living thing, your job is actually to cooperate with us this much. Can we get this much cooperation? Your job is to trust us. Your job is to take direction. And your job is to pay attention to us when we're talking to you or interacting with you. And if you're willing to give us this much cooperation and attempt to do the job that we're giving you, we will gladly spoil you. I want all of America to spoil their dogs, but I want you to spoil them for doing the job that you give them, which is taking direction from you, having some faith in you, trusting what you tell them to do, and cooperating with you. And if they're willing to do that, I say have a party that includes steak if you want to. I don't care. But go ahead and let them know how awesome it is to be successful at doing what you want them to do, instead of them getting in trouble forever for doing the job that they think they're supposed to be doing. Don't let them get confused about what their position is in your home. Their position is just a happy member of the pack, comfortable, safe, and protected, rather than ever getting the feeling that they need to protect, because that's when the problems really begin. In our homes today, we rescue dogs, and we basically have a bunch of worker bees. Maybe they don't have the best nerves, maybe they're skittish, maybe they're high energy with very little self-control, but basically they're not capable of running a pack. And actually making the mistake and getting confused, thinking they're in charge, makes them even crazier. And that's where problems come in. So I want you to consider that in the wild, pack leadership is something that is life or death. They fight over that. There is a winner, and the loser is either dead or they submit to the job. They submit, they give the job away. So basically, if dogs were all capable of being pack leaders, if they were all alphas, they would all be dead. We would not own dogs today. They would have killed each other many, many hundreds of years ago over the stupid fight over pack leadership. But we have dogs today because most of them aren't capable of running a pack. They don't have the sound nerves or temperament or decision-making skills. They're not smart enough, whatever it may be, to actually make the decisions that would prolong the life of a group or a pack. So we have a bunch of worker bees, and they need a job. And if we don't give them some sort of a job, if we just let them do whatever they want, they're going to start to want some crazy stuff. and they're not great at making decisions. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know what a car is, and dogs don't. So I am more qualified to be the decision maker in my pack, and so are you. So quickly and right away, start giving your dog jobs to do. And it is my belief in a whole message. So now everything is so positive reinforcement only. And that's great, because dog training used to be, when I first started, dog training was about looking at the negative, what you wanted to fix, and fixing it. And looking at the negative and using negative enforcement to fix it. And then it changed over to looking at the positive and using positive reinforcement to encourage that. But I don't know what happened. Somewhere in the middle, we got lost. We should have gone into what I consider to be a whole message, which means if your dog is doing something positive, something that you would love for them to continue to do, or you would love to see every day, please have a party and give them nothing but positive reinforcement. But if your dog is pooping on your carpet or acting like Cujo, that is when you must be able to send some sort of a negative message to let them know that that's not what you want them to do every day, that that is not a behavior that you would like to continue. So I think the most humane way to raise a dog is to be super clear about what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, so that they can quickly make better decisions based on experience and have some respect for you as the pack leader.